Hi, we're Quaint and Curious Volumes, and you're watching Quaint and Curious Volumes. My name's James. Today I'm going to do the Booktube Newbie Tag, a tag that new people on Booktube do to sort of introduce themselves and declare their intentions. But first, I want to thank my friends Randy Ray, the literate Texan, and Mark at Booktime with Elvis for recommending my channel to their viewers. If you came from one of their posts, welcome and thank you for giving me a try. And thanks to everyone who's subscribed and left comments. It's been really great to see that and to meet you. Appreciate it. So here are the questions. When you do a tag, what you do is you answer a series of questions. That's what it means here in Booktube to do a tag. So I am doing the newbie tag, and here are the questions. Why did you start this channel? Well, I've been watching Booktube for a couple of years now. Different channels that I've seen over the years from when I started, but it looked like people were having a lot of fun, and I'd like to have some fun. I also don't have a lot of people to talk to about books. I work from home, and my colleagues are not big readers. My wife is a big reader, but she tends to read different things than I do. So yeah, I wanted to meet some people, talk to them about books. Also, I've been working from home the last few years, and I feel like my skills at talking to people are getting a bit rusty. So I figured this might be an avenue to practice a bit of that. Okay. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Fun is not generally a word people associate with me, but I am definitely unique. I am the only person, at least with my name, that I've ever heard of. So there's that. My taste is similar to some of you, but I also have some other interests that I don't see a lot of booktubers talking about, at least not the ones I tend to watch. I read some music books. I did a graduate degree in something called ethnomusicology, so I've read a lot of anthropology and social science and music books. I don't read a lot of that these days because I don't do that anymore, but I do read some music books. From time to time, I maintain an interest in that. So I may be talking about, reviewing, discussing some of those kinds of books. What are you most excited about for this new channel? Well, I'm most excited to meet new people and connect with some other booktubers, perhaps do some events. I'd love to hear what people have to say about what I have to say. So there you go. Why do you love reading? Well, a bunch of the cliched reasons. One life is not enough. It's a way to experience other parts of the world. It's easy travel to other planets. I don't travel a lot. I don't watch a lot of movies or television. So reading is my main form of entertainment, and I don't miss other forms of entertainment. I don't miss traveling to other places because I can travel to them, in a sense. What book or series got you into reading? So, when I was very young, my Aunt Barbara gave us a bunch of books. She was a school teacher, so these were probably leftovers from her classroom or something. And one of them was a Dick and Jane book, and I sat down with it and learned to read from it. And I have no idea how that happened. It seemed like magic. So Dick and Jane and Spot was literally what got me into reading. I liked it from the beginning. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Well, I have several favorite booktubers, and I don't know what questions I would ask them. I will tell you what some of my favorite booktubers are. My first favorite was Mara at Books Like Whoa. I think she was the first booktuber I started following. Um, I still check in with her from time to time. Her tastes are a little different than mine these days, but it's still a great channel, and um, is like a lot of the other ones that I will mention is a sort of unscripted, unedited, turn the camera on, talk for a bit, turn the camera off, sort of a channel. So um, I think shortly after that, I discovered Greg and another bibliophile reads. Um, and I like Greg a lot. He's got a great channel. What would I ask him? I don't know. He was a computer programmer, which is what I do for a living now. Although I get the impression he is perfectly happy to be retired from that. Let's see. Shortly after that, when I started following Greg, I saw a video of an old guy sitting on a couch talking about 17 categories of new releases that he likes to keep up with, and showing an unreasonable number of books that he got in the mail. And I said, this guy is pretty strange. And eventually I saw him again and again. And so he's become probably my favorite. Steve Donahue, he's a favorite of a lot of people. And let's see, Mark and Randy Ray, Michael K. Vaughan, uh, Hannah's books. I love Hannah's books. New channel I started watching recently, Jamie B's books. This is a lot of fun. Some of these people read a ton. Mara, as I said, is like a 400 book a year person, and Jamie B is a 300 or 400 book a year person. Steve is unreasonable because he's an alien. I'm like a 50 to 100 book a year person, depending on what I'm doing. So, hey, that none of that was a question I would ask any of them, but those are some of my favorites. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest? What challenges to starting what? Hardest challenges in starting a YouTube channel? Don't know. But I don't like looking at myself on this phone, and I don't like listening to my droning kind of voice. Don't care for it. So maybe that. Although possibly I can get around that by never watching or editing my videos. When did you start reading? As I said, I was 4 or 5, and I got a Dick and Jane and Spot book. Where do you read? I read in a chair. Mostly I read right here. In this chair that is occupied by my little friend Louise. She's 12 years old. She's resting because she's been very hard at work today. Sometimes I read on my Kindle in bed. Sometimes I read in the living room next to the window. The usual places. What kind of books do you like to read? Mostly I like to read print and paper books. I read on my Kindle sometimes. I will listen to some audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to Geddy Lee's autobiography, My Effin' Life, because it came free with Spotify. That's pretty fun. Has a lot more Yiddish in it than I had anticipated, but it's pretty good. And if you are a fan of Rush was not really my band, but I do like them. And Geddy Lee is a pretty good storyteller, so there you go. I think that by what kind they mean genres of books. I mostly read classic books these days and literary fiction, poetry, novels, I don't read a lot of science fiction. I'll read a fantasy book occasionally. Almost no mysteries or romance or YA. Those are generally not my thing. But I do like some music books from time to time. Sometimes I read technical books for work, if it can't be avoided, and some history, mostly popular history, yeah, and biographies. Okay, I'll stop. What does your book collection look like? It looks suspiciously like a bunch of books sitting on shelves. That kind of thing over there. I've got about 2 more tall bookshelves like that, and I have some other shelves around the house. It's not a huge collection, because I can't accumulate that many. My house is not that big, and I don't want to impose on the people I live with by crowding them up with stacks and stacks of books, which might happen if I lived alone. But anyway, that is my Booktube Newbie Tag. Thank you for watching. I will be back sometime soon with something else. Bye.